Good afternoon, and thank you for taking out some time to let me talk to you today. As the caption says, hi, I'm Nick, for those who haven't met me yet. I have the great pleasure of talking to you today a little bit about Vault Hill, the world's first human-centric virtual world in the metaverse. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the metaverse actually is, and I'm also going to try and answer some of the questions that we continually get asked, which is, this sounds a little bit dystopian. Are we going to end up just plugged into this virtual world? So I'm going to try and answer some of those questions. Vault Hill is the world's first human-centric virtual world. It's a bold, brave tagline to have, but it's one that we take really, really seriously, and it defines us as a brand, it defines us as a concept, and defines every decision that we make as a company. But what does it actually mean? Well, if we take a step back and think about where we're actually going today, we're already starting to spend more and more and more of our time in virtual reality, whether it be through Instagram, 60 minutes a day is their golden metric, dating apps, I'm guilty of that myself, or other mobile devices. We continually add value to our virtual avatar. And as we start to see this uplift in technology, we start to find ourselves doing more and more stuff in virtual reality and in other platforms. So for us, as a company, it's important that the people that choose to spend their time working, operating, and building a community inside Vault Hill, that we honor a duty of care towards them, because as George Orwell rightly predicted, or Huxley in A Brave New World rightly claimed, the dehumanization of people will happen through technology, through science, and through social observation. We're already starting to see that. So we want to take a duty of care towards helping people operate safely and educate themselves wisely in these virtual worlds. So let's take a step back. The metaverse. A lot of people have said today, oh, you're a metaverse. No. We're not a metaverse, we're operating in the metaverse. But to understand what that is, we have to understand, first of all, where we came from. This is a clip of, really bad actually, apologies, of Bill Gates, you may be able to make him out, and David Letterman. He was ridiculed in 1995 or 6 on the show about the internet. He had to defend, this is a guy who founded Microsoft, had to defend the concept of the internet to people. In 1982, when the internet was invented or created, it was first used by academics and institutions to pass files between each other. And largely, that's what Web 2 has become. It's become this notion of, I put data onto something, whether it be a platform like Facebook, and then you request it and you get it back. And the limitation of Web 2 pretty much stayed pretty consistent the whole way through the 90s and the early 20s, until we got to this thing in 2019, when all of a sudden, the world went into a bit of a crisis, and we all started working from home. And all of a sudden, we started to work inside the internet, right? We started to do Zoom calls. We started to do a lot more time in things like Roblox and games like Fortnite. And as such, we started to use the internet for something it was never, ever designed for. We started to operate inside the internet, and we started to see this uplift in people starting to interact with products and services and businesses in completely different ways. And then all of a sudden, this concept of the metaverse came available, largely by these two firms. So this book here, Snow Crash, 1992, was the first time the word metaverse was ever used. It was written about a parallel universe that operates alongside ours, where people work and live inside a virtual world. And then, I think in 2012, but maybe later, this film came out, Ready Player One. It's guilty for a lot of misconception around what the metaverse will be, running around, playing video games, and collecting coins and points. But it's more than that. But we've all heard this notion of metaverse. I'm sure someone in this audience has probably seen this film, read the book, or read this book as well. But this has started to drive our idea of what the metaverse will become. Oops, gone the wrong way. So leads us on to this concept of dystopia, right? If we follow the idea, the analogy that was put forward by Ready Player One, where we're spending all of our time, and we're already doing 40%, I've spoken about Instagram and dating apps and stuff like that. Are we not going to start to dehumanize ourselves? Are we not going to spend more and more time on our avatar and less time doing what I want? I think there's a possibility, but I don't think it's going to lead us towards dystopia. But it does raise the question, why would we jack ourselves into a virtual reality world to live an existence which is completely different to ours? Same question was asked to Bill Gates in 1996, by the way. I think the problem that people have is that it's very hard at the moment to conceptualize what will happen in the metaverse because it doesn't really exist. The only really reference points we said is we've got the Zoom, we've got Hangouts, we've got Teams, and then we've got Fortnite, and then we've got some of the virtual worlds that are starting to get a lot of gravity. You've seen Sandbox here today and Decentraland. They're kind of setting the path of where this thing might go, and it allows us to use that frame of reference. But dystopia and dehumanization of ourselves doesn't have to be in that direction. I said before, Vault Hill is about being human-centric. It's about enhancing human reality through everything that we do and everything that we operate. And as such, the experiences that we look to build and look to enhance and work with businesses is about giving purpose and value to everything that you do, rather than just building a building. I saw HSBC the other day. I've put an office in Sandbox, which is great. It's great to see that financial institutions are going in there. But right now, I sit and I struggle to understand what they will do to actually replicate that product. What is the metaverse? So this is Matthew Ball. I don't know if anyone's heard of Ball, begging your pardon. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He's a great academic, brilliant. Websites, matthewball.vc. He defines the metaverse by being 8 components, each coming together. Essentially as an operating model, of which one of them is virtual platforms. We are a virtual platform. We're a virtual world. We're the world's first human-centric virtual world. We are one component of these. So it's not going to be about content. It's not going to be about computer games. It's not going to be about virtual worlds exclusively. It's not going to be about VR. It's going to be all these things coming together and operating in one unity to make what the metaverse will become. But most importantly, it's wrapped around this concept of human behavior. Human behavior requires us to think differently, to operate differently, and to change differently to make this ecosystem of operation work. Without all of these things working in operation, we will not have the metaverse, but it is coming. You've already seen the difference between the internet and what we're doing now is that the internet was formed and built by a number of institutions, whereas this is being built by companies like Apple, Facebook, Google. These companies have the resources, they have the money, they have the expertise, and as such, we will see the adoption of this technology work at a much faster rate than the 20 years or so that it took the internet to come up. But I'm not here just today to talk about dystopia and the metaverse. I'm here to talk to you today about Vault Hill. So for those of you who haven't met me, as I said, my name is Nick, and Vault Hill is the company I work for. And this, hopefully, is our world. It's pretty beautiful, right? What we're trying to do is create hedonism where people want to spend time. They want to work, they want to operate, but most importantly, everything that they do enhances their experience as a human. So, we are built around the basic human instincts. For those of you who don't know, there are 13, of which we have 7 listed here. It's Omega, which is vitality. This is about mindfulness, thinking and living and operating inside a world where what you're doing is giving back to you. Play. Everyone likes to play. It's on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We like to play. We like to interact with people. Curiosity. What happens next? Idealism. We all want the world to be a better place, right? Why not spend time in idealism and contribute towards what that's going to be? Romance. I've already admitted that I'm pretty terrible at this. Why not use these to enhance the way that you're interacting with people? Learn how to understand other people, and hopefully, one day, my mum hopes, meet someone and have a meaningful relationship. Imagination. This is the most imaginative thing I've ever seen in my life. It's incredible, and why not use this as a platform to go around? And then finally, community. Community is about coming together. So all of these things are inside all of us today. how we work, how we operate, how we interact with each other are based around 7 of these concepts. So we've designed our world to unlock those opportunities, not only to you as users, but you as the community members, and also you as businesses. We operate a platform where businesses can come into our world, and they can trade and meet people and new communities. The other exciting thing about Vault Hill is it's 1 year old, which is a great achievement for us to get to this point. And as such, we also have land, which we are looking to sell to people today. We're doing land a little bit differently to other people. As we spoke about earlier in the talk about dystopia and removing yourself from basic human instincts and operating in a humane way, we want to work with small businesses, institutions, organizations to actually open up the virtual world to people who currently are inhibited by the parameters of economics. These are land, labor, and finances. There are a reason why lots of businesses today struggle to enter the metaverse. It's damn expensive to buy plots of land all over the place. As such, we're not expensive. We're incredibly cheap. But another thing that we're doing, which is great, is that we're reserving plots of land to help young industries, young businesses, and opportunities to enter the metaverse. They can rent an NFT from us and use that to create a commerce and an opportunity to grow their business. Our founder, CEO, Jimmy over here, is from Nigeria, and one of his greatest passions is actually giving back to the community which raised him in Nigeria. As such, we've worked with institutions and organizations and bodies in Nigeria to launch them as a platform into this world, to give them an opportunity that they would never have had in any other world or indeed in the real world. As such, we are giving back to the community. Another thing that we also give back to, not only the businesses that we work with, where what they do and what they build and what they design has to give back to their communities, but we're also working with institutions to educate people. We're currently working to build Vault Hill University, a university which will educate not only those people that currently have access to education around the world, but also to those that have been deprived of education because of their geographical location. We're working to use this typology that we have to create multiple opportunities for then students that work and operate in those zones to give back to their community as well and to come together and create stuff. Another important feature of what we're doing today is this idea of self-sovereign identity. Self-sovereign identity is a unique thing where, if you don't know what it is about authenticating the person. Another really dark thing about where we're potentially going, not here, where other places are going, is you don't know who you're talking to. We spoke about romance, right? Imagine going on a date, falling in love with someone, it turned out to be your mum. It's pretty scary, right? Single sovereign identity means that you are authenticated as an avatar to your human self. And people know, because you get a little blue tick above your avatar, that if you're talking to me, you're talking to Nick. You know Nick is over 18, and Nick is who he says he is. This is really important, because if you are operating in a world which is human-centric and giving back to society, you have to believe and authenticate everything that you're seeing and believing to be true. I'll finish up there. I think I've got about 5 minutes left. If there's any questions that people might have. This is pretty wild as a concept, so I wanted to give people the opportunity at the end. So if there are any questions, please do feel free to raise your hand and ask. Otherwise, thank you very much. Hello. So the brands, great question. So we're currently in negotiations with a couple of brands to come into the Vault Hill. We've already built three simulations where brands can come in and operate. So we're demonstrating one today, which is a wellness app for a company called Today Fit. They're based in Hong Kong. They basically were an Uber for personal trainers. So if you're on the move, you dial in, you get one. What we've been able to do is create a wellness wrap around their product. So you can go in, you can do a VR experience around meditation. You can also do an AR experience with a personal trainer, and you can also do a yoga retreat through that platform. We've built that application. We're building one for a wearable company based in Nigeria, and we're also working with a third company at the moment who we're NDA'd on. We're in negotiation with a couple of tier 1 brands at the moment to bring them back in. The unique thing that they like about our product is that you can create multiple front doors. So if you were to go into, say, a single layer company where you build a big, I use the example of Adidas in Second Life. It's a famous one, it's well recorded. They built essentially an Adidas shop in Second Life, and it was exactly the same as walking around an Adidas shop in real life, Regent Street or whatever, right? No one ever went there, and Adidas quickly removed it. I suspect that'll probably be true of what people are doing in some of the more famous and established brands. What we're trying to do is have multiple front doors. So if you were, say, a big pharmaceutical company, you could come in through one entrance, say in Vitality, where you wanted to learn about mass pollution in the sea. You could have some sort of immersive experience. Then you could go into another one where we seamlessly go through that experience into, say, a jungle thing where you want to learn about pharmaceutical manufacturing and research. And then you could actually end up leaving through Play. So you go in through Vitality and out through Play. So we're building a proposition at the moment to work with 2 companies that will map around that. Hello. Where is it hosted? So you can access our website through vaulthill.com. I probably should have put it on here. Vaulthill.com, and then in terms of the technology, we're built on the Polygon network. And then on top of that, we use, can I say? We're using Unreal as our engine to build the virtual world. But it's hosted on Polygon as the blockchain. Okay. Another one? Okay. Oh yeah, they did have the website. I've just been told the website's there, vaulthill.io. We're based just out behind here. If you've got any other questions or if you want a demonstration, we've got 2 demonstrations available to you today. So Today Fit, which you can see, which is built in Unreal, and then we've also got another tool which is built in Unity, which is a game-based activity. So what we wanted to show people today was the opportunity to experience how a business line and a business value chain can be adapted, and then also what you can do in terms of utility around playing a game as well. Okay. I'll leave that up for you for a bit longer, but thank you very much.
Looking for myself, I'm staring at my shadow. Am I gonna be safe in getting through tomorrow? When I throw me down, you can lead me to the side. You still raising me up, and when I look aside, she